Welcome back to Aikidoflow. Right, today, Aikidoflow. Whoa. Okay, don't forget our t-shirts, merchandise, you can find them, okay? We're going to be doing like some type of exclusive thing first. So if you want these current ones, go and get one before we delete them. Now, back to the show. Okay, now, techniques that you will not learn in regular dojos, specifically regular Aikido dojos. Now, this is something that has come up a lot in past videos and like emails people have been sending us and in the comments, and we're going to look at techniques specifically that you will not learn in other dojos.
Style up, beat it, get it, or no. Style up, beat it, get it, or no. Style up, beat it, get it, or no. Style up, beat it, get it, or no.
There's a lot of different reasons why dojos don't like to teach you specific techniques. And we are specifically talking about from our point of view, which is that we're looking at the implementation and the use of Aikido and Aikidoflow moves to protect yourself on the street. And you've heard us talk a lot about this. In fact, you can't even shut Azu up about this because Azu will just continually talk about this all the time.
I get a little bit annoyed about, especially in Aikido, about how so many dojos are so traditional and you have to move in a specific way and do things in a specific way. You're not given the freedom to experiment and just, create your own stuff and do what works best for you. It has to be done so rigidly, which I just find so annoying.
All right, listen, I completely agree with you. And we're going to dive in specifically on the logistics of how that works in a second. You know what? Another reason, or following on really from what Azzy was talking about, is that some reasons why dojos won't teach you specific things is because the people that are controlling the dojos, like the senseis, don't want to lose control and they want to impose power over you, and they don't want you to try stuff, which basically limits really what you do and how you do it. But we're going to kind of delve a bit further into that. I mean, what's your experience of other dojos that you've trained in?
I found other dojos, they will teach techniques in a specific way, and they will say, okay, do it this way, and then you'll train with somebody and they'll be rigid. They'll be rigid. They'll anticipate every single movement you do, and not allow you to even really perform the technique until you do it exactly the way they showed you to do it. Well, I know, look, it would work my way, it's just that I'm doing it my way, not your way. So you're anticipating my movements because you know what I'm going to do, and you're resisting every single thing I do instead of attacking me realistically without that, without that kind of prediction, without attacking me in a way that you don't know what's coming, but attacking in a way that they know what's coming and they don't allow you to do anything because you're not doing it their way.
Well, it's easy. It's easy for me to stop your movement when I know exactly what movement that you're going to be doing.
Exactly.
And then that doesn't allow you really to be able to feel anything, which is what we're talking about. Now, let me get something straight up front. Okay. Now, I'm not advocating that you should struggle with your instructors and your teachers. There are fundamental things that you have to practice. You need to be able to move your legs and your body in a certain way, and you need to practice that. And so when you move, you are moving how you should move. But once you have reached the point where you feel that you understand the fundamentals, and do not skip those, okay? The fundamentals are unbelievably important, because you can tell, okay? Me personally, I can tell when I see someone that's been trained in martial arts, because what happens is that they don't tilt, okay, when they're doing something like a punch or a blow. They keep their center of gravity directly in line. And you can tell when somebody is actually trained. What happens is, as they come to punch, everything, it's like a rock that moves forward. So everything basically stays the same. So, and that comes from foundational training. And so you do not skip that, and that can literally be years and years of training. But once you've reached that stage, then you need to let go of everything that you have learned, I think Obi-Wan said. Or like Yoda, you must release everything that you have learned, unlearn everything that you have learned. Okay, and you need to be more fluid, and you need to as you hear Azu say a lot, you need to experiment. And what that means is, it means to take a risk. Okay, you need to actually risk some things. Now, specifically in the Aikido world and what we do, there are movements that are long and flowery, and they are designed to teach you the move, but they're only designed to teach you the move. They're not designed to implement the move properly. I'll give you the first example. So if I get hold of Azu here, so we have a move called Shihonagi, and it's a really nice flowing movement. I'll tell you what, I'm going to move around this way so you can see me. Okay, so from here, I do a nice circle here, and a nice circle here, and then I go here, and then I go here. Okay, now that's a long ass move. Now on the street, there's no point in doing that. If I was to try to do that, for example, like if he grabbed me here, I would simply implement it straight away here. Straight down. I'll tell you what, let's do it over here, so Azu doesn't fall on the wet grass. So here, so again, it's a quick move. Straight down. So it's very, very fast. So the principle here behind here is to strip out everything that you've learned, all of the fluidness, because your body now understands the fluidness. Your body remembers the fluidness. You don't need to implement the fluidness anymore, because you are the move. You are now fluid. And so on the street, what you're doing is you are moving straight into the move, and you're compacting it down into a very, very, very small space. I got a question the other day. Someone emailed me about our online training, and and he asked me the difference between the foundation and the street, and which was like a really, really good question. So we actually do two courses. Now the foundation is all of that stuff that we're talking about. It's all of the fluidness, to teach you the fluidness, and it's a long ass course. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours of training. But the street self-defense is compact. So the street self-defense looks very much like what you see us doing. Okay, that doesn't mean that you completely disregard all of the fluidness. You have to learn that, but there has to be a time where you have to let all of that go, and you need to cut straight to the point, straight to what you're trying to do. Okay, in conclusion, now the streets are, I love the streets because the streets give you the truth. It either works or it doesn't work, okay? And when there's some type of conflict on the street, there's no leeway, okay? You do it wrong and then you get taken down. So as far as your training is concerned in your dojo, I've got a couple of simple rules, okay? When you start training, listen very carefully to your instructor and make sure that you follow the foundation and you train hard in the foundations that your instructor is teaching you in. But when you reach the stage of being comfortable with those foundations, and if I were to give you a time frame on that, I would probably say you need to be training in your foundational training for probably at least 2 years, okay? But then you need to try to experiment. You need to try to shorten things, make them more compact, and it doesn't matter what martial art you're talking about, okay? We are Aikidoflow, so everything is Aikido, Aikidoflow, but to be honest with you, this could apply to any martial art. I mean, I remember back in the day, my instructor, said to me, his name was Farouk, and he said to me, I could be teaching you anything. And to be honest with you, that is exactly right. He could have been teaching us anything because he was teaching us the fundamentals of what was going on. Big shout out to you, Farouk and Tariq. Hope everything is well. So I shall see you in the next Aikidoflow video.
Stala,